known is EcoHang. It's designed to hold PlayStation 3 controllers and possibly other controllers in the future to keep them away from dogs and knocking off tables and damaging them, etc. It works like this. You use one sheet of HDPE, recycled plastic, to create this. So there's only one sheet, it's only one unit. The controller sits inside here, like this, and you can stack multiple controllers using multiple units. So you buy one unit separately and then stack them on top of each other.
Okay, I'm going to talk about how we came up with our design. First, we had the concept of the tidy weight controllers so they don't get damaged. We had two ideas. First of all was the hanging out design, which we ended up with. Another one was an idea of a control unit that stacks up, so rather than hanging off the wall, stacks up on top of each other to make multiple controls. We decided to go with the hanging design because it had less plastic and it was easier to make, so it was just one sheet that was then folded, so it's a lot easier to produce. Once we came up with design, this is our first prototype paper model thing. That meant that this design made the first prototype from this design, and there are a few problems with it. First of all, if I hand around these two, you can see that when we tried to cut this thickness, the edges were a bit messy, and it snapped because the bending was too sharp. So we then used a jig to form a much smoother curve, so it prevented it from breaking. And that's the design.
Okay, materials and manufacturing. Our use of recycled bottle caps to manufacture the whole product not only gave us a USP above the other market, and it also met the needs and the growing demand for environmentally friendly products and to go green within industry. When the bottle caps were actually melted down, they made a sheet, like we can see on the board, of high density polyethylene. To actually manufacture the product, we used a shredder and a hot press to shred down the bottle caps, melt it down, and then cool it again to make the sheet. We then used 2D design tools to make a template of our design, cut it out on the laser cutter there, and then to actually bend it to make the shapes of our final design. First of all, we used just a strip heater alone, but as Matt was saying, it caused too much tension in certain areas to cause it to snap. So we then incorporated the jig along with it to spread out the tension and remove any danger of breaking.
Inspired by the simplicity of Apple's packaging design, we wanted to come up with a box. But our design brief was eco-friendly, so this wasn't appropriate. So we went back to the drawing board and we wanted our packaging to be as small as possible, but still able to be recycled. So a few designs later, we came up with this design. However, we still needed to make adjustments like widen the sides so it would strengthen it when it's held, and come up with a contraption so that it would be able to be held on a rack. We then, if I pass it around, we then thought about the colour scheme. We wanted it to be green to reinforce the idea of being eco-friendly, as well as having simple text and a logo to make it effective. Our target market is 13 to 19 gaming fanatics, which is why we came up with the affordable price of $4.99. I will now pass you to Jack, who will talk about advertising.
When I initially started the advertising, I used the EcoHang logo to set out the text. So you can see here, it dropped down. The human eye scales texts from the top left to the bottom right. So having the EcoHang logo at the top left means that's the first thing people see before and then they go down and they see the product itself. I took a photo when we used virgin plastic during the development stage of making the product and edited it on Fireworks so that people could see what it would look like when it was done, professional sort of feel to the product. Initially I also had a lot of text on the poster, which kind of took it away from the product. You sort of got a bit distracted. So, using advice from members of the team, I just went with made from 100% recycled plastic and put 100% and recycled in bold to reinforce that motive. Yeah, the main USP of our product is, as I said, the stackability of them. So you have, I don't know, 4 playground controllers. You can simply buy one unit and then stack them on top of each other. There are 2 units. This first unit here has a screw hole on the top and no hook. So you have this one at the top, nail it into the wall, screw it to the wall, whatever you want to do. Or you could hook it onto a chair or something, keep that out of the way. Where will we take it next? Hopefully, because obviously the gaming market is quite large and it's expanding with new products from Microsoft, etc. We hope to expand through to other consoles such as the Wii, the Xbox. The Xbox is quite a challenging one because the battery pack on the back of the Xbox is quite heavy. During the development stage we looked into this and found that it would be very difficult to do. But hopefully, if it sold well, we would be able to develop it well. Any questions?
What was the final choice of plastic?
HDPE.
And what did you start off with?
It was PET. So it was quite flexible, but it can support the weight of the controller.
How many can you get out of a sheet?
The sheets we can produce in school, we can get 2 from each sheet. But obviously, if this were to go into proper industry, we would get a bigger manufacturing unit where you can produce large sheets and produce more.
Beforehand, when we were using that design there, you can see it's quite long, so we tried to like fit them in 2 like that on a sheet. But actually now, I think we can get 3 in, because when me and Matt earlier made these 3 on one sheet, you fit them like that. Because we cut off the hook, it basically makes the product cheaper to make and faster to cut, and you can fit more on one sheet because the press is quite difficult to get a large sheet without.
What's that process called? Where you're trying to fit sheets on as many on one sheet? Go on, Parks.
Tessellation, where you try and get as many sheets onto this.
$4.99 for your is the price for one, yeah?
Yeah.
How would you try and increase sales?
By making bundles where you can get the top one and then a subsequent hanging one for a discount, but we'd have to work out that.
Okay.
Have you tested that you can hang 4 from the first one with the control room?
No.
We've tested 2 and 3, but haven't gone to 4.
I didn't actually have that many controllers.
You mentioned about the Xbox
Yeah.
controller, and it's heavier, is it?
Yeah, it is.
But in terms of how would you try and counteract that weight?
I think the thickness of the plastic has a lot to do with it, because I mean HDPE it is a strong plastic, but when it's thin it's quite flexible and bendy. If we were to make it thicker, like that blue one there, we'd have to try and find a way to stop it from snapping, but I think it would probably be able to hold an Xbox controller.
And another thing we do have sport plate, which we go back to a design based on this one, would be strap and hook to help support it. So it's not just for bending of plastics.
So it wouldn't actually, through a lever mechanism, it wouldn't actually hold itself against the wall without a clip?
No.
Unlikely, because it's very heavy.
Unless you had like a separate bag to attach the battery pack, but that would probably be a lot of effort when they're done issuing.
Okay. Anybody else?
Is that your product in the red?
Yeah, that was the one we went out of virgin plastic. But we tried that with 2 controllers, so we had that one and then we had another one hanging off that.
This one is our final design pattern.
Well done.